I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all of the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I've built a lot of women who refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money, and whatever else spring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Guitar Players Planet. 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 Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the land of new. Oh, na 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 na.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? We're back at AstroWorld, and I think we got everybody here. I know we had some issues.
I am here.
Eric's not stuttering. He's not. He figured out his bandwidth issue. I don't know, but we're all together, and I think Jason and I kind of winged the show by ourselves last time. And we were both exhausted, but it was an interesting show to say the least. But tonight we're going to sit here. We're going to talk about some things. I know Eric has gotten some new gear. I know Jason's got some new gear on the way. I have new gear, but it's not coming till like Easter. But I got some books and stuff. But yeah. So first thing I want to say is Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. None of us would be here if it wasn't for the veterans that have made the ultimate sacrifice and that are sacrificing to today. And what I want to do is just want to say, where is it? Hold on a second. Thank you to our own veteran that's sitting here, and Mr. Eric.
Oh my God!
I love that picture,
Talk
man.
about a blast from the past.
Dude, you look bad.
You posted it.
Sorry, but...
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. Hey, it's all good. Yes, I did post that.
You put it on Facebook, so I thought it was, it's public domain at that point.
It's there for public consumption, man. It's all good. Back in my heyday.
We're still seniors.
So thank you for your service. Jason, I don't know if you're an ex-serviceman. Are you? Or?
I'm not. I come from a long line of it, but I went into a career as opposed to going military. And, there's times I kind of wish I had, but, my dad was, my grandparents, both grandfathers on both sides, a lot of aunts and uncles, cousins, but I opted to go career as opposed to military.
No, I actually took the ASVAB back in '89 and passed the ASVAB, but when I got to the medical part, they said, "Yeah, right." Yeah, they found out I had a background of epilepsy, and that I was going into the Air Force. So they said, "We're not going to have no epileptic behind the plane." So, yeah, it was a bad thing, but hey, everybody in my family was a veteran. I think I got two uncles. My dad was in the Navy. My grandfather was a captain in the Army. My great grandfather was a captain in the Army. So way back to the 19th century. So I think me and my brother were the first Higgins boys that haven't been in the armed services in 100 years.
Wow.
But yeah. So again, thank you everybody for the service. We appreciate it over here. And Eric, I don't know if you want to say, since you're the only service person, if you want to say something.
Well, I would really appreciate that, Dan. Again, I'll echo your thoughts. Happy Veterans Day to all my fellow brothers and sisters who put on the uniform and who stood to watch and everything like that. And your sacrifices, your commitments are what, made our country what it is. So, yeah. And also I would say, if you know of a veteran, beyond just saying thank you for your service, a reminder that guys in the people that come home, a lot of them, especially if they're coming in from combat areas, combat zones, war, they don't always come back the same way they left home. So suicide is one of the leading causes of death in the veteran community. So beyond just saying thank you for your service, if you know a veteran, ask them how they're doing. Check on them. We have a lot of people who are afflicted with mental illness, PTSD, and there's a lot of veterans out there that are actually even homeless, which is really surprising. So if you have the opportunity to give towards a veteran, to a cause that helps out homeless veterans, even or not, or even if you just know a veteran that may be going through a rough time, just let them know that you appreciate them, appreciate what they've done. So, and a big shout out to my son, Joshua Watson, and his fiance, Brittany. They are both lieutenants in the Air Force in Minot, North Dakota. And I believe this is going to be their first official Veterans Day. So, congratulations to them on making it their first Veterans Day, and I appreciate what you guys do, and I love you much. So that's all I got.
Very good, thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Me being the only incitable service person that we have on AstroWorld. So again, none of us would be here without you guys. So thank you so much for your service and the continuing service that you have. So that being said, we are here to talk about astrophotography, and that's what we do every Wednesday night at 9:00. And hopefully we got some people watching. I don't know, I'm not really watching the video yet, but I know Jason's all over that.
We got 10
What's
on
that?
YouTube and 2 on Facebook.
2
on Facebook, 10 on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'll take 10 on YouTube.
And I hear a plane. I hear a plane going by.
It's 61 degrees out, so I got my office window open instead of running AC tonight.
Gotcha.
I thought his space shuttle was buzzing the tower.
Only once.
Only once.
And they yelled at me.
But yeah, well, I don't have any gear to talk about because I don't have any. Well, the only thing I have coming is the 120 supposedly. The Esprit, but that's not coming until April. Just a couple of things to talk about before we move forward into gear is a couple of things. I know a lot of people had questions regarding the iTelescope / Telescope Live contest that's going on. A lot of people have been texting me regarding, hey, where do I pay? Where do I pay? What do I do? Guys, I love the enthusiasm. Everybody, my phone's been blowing up, and I don't know how half you guys got my phone number, but it's been blowing up. But and I appreciate that. And I you know what? I would love to take all this money and put it into a kitty and stuff like that, but I don't want to take anything until we get everything nailed down on what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it. So right now, as it stands, it looks like Telescope Live is the front runner right now. iTelescope has been a little bit slow on the communication part of it. We have already had one meeting with Telescope Live regarding their platform and how they do things and what's going on. It looks like, however, what we're going to be working with is a pay per credit version, and I'm hoping to get a little bit of a discount on that. But again, I thought that we were going to able to get certain data sets that were going to be open to the entire community. It's unfortunate due to some legalities that that's not going to happen. So we are going to be probably paying per credit, and the first image is probably going to be the Dragons of Ara. And once I get a final price on per credit, I will put that out on the website. The website's not up yet. I'll put that out on Facebook, or I'll throw a update on YouTube, Facebook on a video. So I just want to let everybody know where we stand on what's going on, keep everybody in the loop. So that's where we're at. It looks like Telescope Live is going to be what we're going to be doing for now. If and or when iTelescope comes in with a better deal or something else that's going on that's a little bit more makes it a little bit more useful for us as a group and a community, then maybe we go with them. But for right now, it looks like that Telescope Live is where we're going right now.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it. Man.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It is. It's going to be fantastic. To gather data from the Southern Hemisphere or or another or Spain or where have you, wherever they are, and practically border 1 or 2 skies. This
Yeah,
is going to
it's
be
4 to 1.
great.
I think all
Yeah,
the
this is going
telescopes
to
are
be
one.
great. So one thing I was talking to Jason offline is that this is for me is going to be a great opportunity um, to learn um, using or processing monochrome data, because me as a one-shot color guy, I'm just used to taking one image or using a specialized filter, and doing, but you mostly just a single filter and I'm done and it's just that. But using monochrome data, learning how to combine it either through doing an SHO palette or RGB or LRGB or HA RGB. It's gonna be kind of cool, and with the Dragon to Aura, I believe that's a more of a broadband target, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yep.
Okay, so it's gonna be it's gonna be cool, to have the opportunity to learn and to use different, and to do this. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a little different
Yeah,
for
and
me.
yeah, and even though that the data sets that they already shot aren't going to be now, let me just throw some out to the community, just so you know. Once this platform for Telescope Live is fully uploaded and everything's ready to go, um, as a private consumer, you could actually purchase a couple of programs out there that gives you access to the data sets at probably less than the cost of your phone bill. So just keep that in mind, that these things are available to you. Now, they may not be the premium targets that you may be looking for, but they do make some data sets available at the range of about $54 a month as part of a subscription. That does not take away from the fact that you can still purchase credits at $1 per credit, and depending on the scope, it could be up to 3.3 credits per minute. But that being said, it doesn't stop anybody from doing it. But that's probably, again, where we're headed. We're probably going to be paying per credit. It's just a matter of maybe if I can get 80 cents a credit instead of $1 a credit, or 70 cents a credit, or whatever I can work out. Since we're going to be buying this stuff in bulk and for a number of people, plus the advertising that they would get, saying that it's all, as long as everybody just says, hey, image acquired by Telescope Live and processed by John Doe, so just keep that in mind. So again, I'm hoping to wrap up all the technicalities by the end of the month. So hopefully we'll have a lot of good things right after Thanksgiving as far as stuff going on at AstroWorld. So
Cool. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, like I said.
yeah, and actually, you weren't here last week when I said I locked down Camera Concepts for some door prizes.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, for the contest. Yeah, that'd be great.
Now, I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe a $100 gift certificate, or a filter, or a filter slide, or maybe, like, I remember what we did over at Backyard Astro Imaging Club was that we had a group of different prizes, and you can pick one. All about the same kind of cost, anything from like $100 to $200, something like that. And then you'd say, you would pick one of those. Because
let's see what happens.
Yeah, why am I getting somebody a filter drawer if they already have one?
Exactly.
Got to throw it in another container, and it'll sit there and collect dust for 3 years until you sell it on Friday night.
We could do that the Christmas one that we used to do in youth group, where you pull a gift out of the pile. If you don't want it, somebody can steal it from you.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah, what did we do? We did that. Yeah, that kind of got messed up, man, because I did that at a party in Jen's firm, and we had an iPad Pro, and we turned it in, and we ended up getting like some piece of garbage.
Oh,
and it didn't work out for us.
it only
But then
works
we
out
ended
for
up
the
with
last
what
guy.
was it
digital
called? Like,
camera or
was it like,
something.
what was it called? Like White Elephant or something like that? Is what it was.
White Elephant or Pollyanna.
Yeah, something like that, or you would do that. So,
But the
yeah,
white
I've
elephant
gone
is
through
usually like a really tacky gift or really absurd, not mean,
yeah, something.
but like, you know, a phallic statue or some weird.
Get somebody a bar of soap or a pitchfork.
Yeah.
You know, every time we do White Elephant for my company, you know, or at my job, it's always booze. It's always everybody's got booze. you walk in with one brand of booze, you walk out with another.
Nice. All right. So Eric, I heard you got some new gear going in. You got some new, you know,
Yeah.
it's all of a sudden the skies opened up when you said, I got some new stuff. All of a sudden I got like, it's raining cats and dogs over here. So
Well,
what'd
yeah,
you
I
end
got
up
some new gear. Okay, so I'll start with some of the small stuff first. Now, one thing, and this is really inexpensive, but I'm looking forward to using it. This is the ZWO helical focuser that you would use for your OAGs, for your off-axis guiders. And I have in here right now, I have it loaded with my 120 mini camera. I have a 120 mm mini and I have a 290 mm mini, and it fits perfectly in here. And this is great because in the past, when with me using this on either my SCT or my 126 millimeter refractor, it would be very difficult to gain a decent focus and keep it there because it would just basically, I'd have to draw it, manually draw this thing in or out and just get it just right. And then quickly lock it into place. And usually it would be basically on the fringe of the camera that I would have it. So it's, God forbid, if something happened or when it was moving, then this would be, it'd be on the ground somewhere. So here, having it being, a manual helical focuser, this will make things a lot easier for using the off-axis guider with this. These are about $60 from ZWO. And I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be really good. As soon as I get a chance to use it.
Now, are you planning on using that with the Rasa?
No, you can't use this with the Rasa. You can't use an OAG with the Rasa. Come on. Yeah, I'm going to hook this up right up to the camera and let it go.
No, man. You only got 78 millimeters and change,
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk about was wide field or wide angle astrophotography. And this is a thing that a lot of beginners do. It's very common to get those 80 millimeter refractors, smaller refractors, fast refractors. You get your f4s and things like that. But I wanted to share what I have right now. Is I decided to go and to go a bit wider, okay, on my focal length. And to do that, in many cases, instead of using a telescope such as this, this is the White Cat, which is this is a 51 millimeter 4-lens APO from William Optics, this is a great little telescope, and it does wide angle. It has a 250 millimeter focal length, and it gives you some really great wide shots. A lot of people also, what they end up doing is they use camera lenses, DSLR camera lenses. And so I have a couple here. The first one I'll show you. This is, and I'm sure you may have seen something like this on Astro Backyard or other maybe YouTube sites or even online, or heard really good things about it. This is the Rokinon 135 millimeter f2.8. This is a manual focus lens. And this is the Canon. This is one hooked up to a Canon EOS. This was, and they're really inexpensive. This is, like I said, it gives you a focal length of 135 millimeter. And I mean, this thing is absolutely, you want to talk about wide view. This is wide view. And some people are kind of curious on how you can hook these up. And I'll show you how you can hook this up if you have, say, a ZWO camera. Now, this is the new thing that I got. I've had the Roku for about a year now. Is this guy. This, if you can see here, I just picked this up from Adorama. This is the Canon, this is a manual focus. This is the Canon 50 millimeter. Canon 50 millimeter. This is a, this is either, you can use either, this is a manual focus, but also it's, if you're using it for a DSLR, it does have autofocus. But this is a 50 millimeter focal length. And I plan on using this, hopefully when we get some clear nights, I want to use this to take a shot of the entire Orion constellation, the Bernard's Loop, the whole shebang. And for what I've been looking at through Telescopius, you guys know I was talking about Telescopius and doing all my planning. Using this, it should fit. And this is relatively inexpensive. This was only $125. So it's really inexpensive. And I want to share what you do to use it, to hook it up. Let me bring this up here. So when you have your ZWO camera, this one in particular, this is the 294 MC. And if you notice here, I've got some wires and all this stuff hanging off from it. I actually have a heater, which you can purchase. These are about $20. That helps keep the keep the sensor, keep dew off of the sensor, keep it nice and warm to a certain extent. So if you have an opportunity, if you ever start thinking about, hey, I've got dew on my sensor, stuff like that, how can I get rid of it? Or if you want to make sure that, you can help prevent that when you're getting started imaging. If you don't let your camera acclimate to the weather long enough, you might want to think about getting one of these, a dew sensor, a dew heater like this. Like I said, it's about $20. But what I have, and you can purchase these are from ZWO. This is a camera. This is a ZWO camera lens to ZWO camera adapter. And again, this is not that expensive. I believe this one here is about $45, maybe $50.
Yeah,
and how it works,
it's like $40.
Yeah, it's not expensive at all. And it's very easy to use. You basically disconnect your camera lens to the adapter. And there it goes. So make sure I got it on here right. Come on. There we go. And then you go ahead and mount that onto your camera. And then you can do a manual focus. And then you're ready to go. I'm waiting for my my lens hood to come up. And this is what I'll be using. This little guy with you can use with my I would actually be getting putting this onto a larger dovetail so I can use it on my CEM60. But this is what I'll be using for all of my wide angle or wide view astrophotography. This is great, especially if you have a DSLR. This is the size of a this type of lens, and a lot of these come with a lot of your DSLRs come with a stock lens very similar to this, a 50 millimeter or something like that, and you can take great 18 to 55, yeah, and you can if you go to a dark site, you can take some great Milky Way astrophotography with a kit that's like with a kit like this with a DSLR. So yeah, that's something new there. And the plan is a lot of people I've been trying to figure out is how to get, and I had to take it off with my Rasa. I got to get another one of these. But this is an EAF. This is the ZWO EAF autofocus, if you guys don't know. And what the plan is right now is to try to figure out how to get this to manipulate this manual focus camera lens, the lens focus. So I've been doing some research and figuring a few things out. And I actually ordered from Amazon for about $20 total. I bought these little guys here. These are 5mm spanners that fit directly. I don't know if you see these. That fit directly onto the EAF, and you can tighten these, and then you just tighten these onto it. And you can also purchase a timing belt. Usually, you get these for 3D printers. And this one is a particular one. This is a 400mm length. And so basically this combined with this, you have around your lens. And the theory is, and then I was able to get some scrap aluminum right here. I got some scrap aluminum here. And what I'll do is I'll drill some holes into this for screws and mount the EAF to this aluminum and to the dovetail. And then in theory, I should be able to wrap this around the camera lens and my EAF, and we'll see what happens. And I should be able to use the EAF to turn the focuser on the lens and do automatic focusing over, and have it do automatic focusing during the night. So it's gonna be so more to come. I'll probably when I get everything set up or get all the final pieces together, I think I'll actually, because I haven't done one in quite some time, is do a video with everything together, and then and show how I did it, and then see what the results are and see how we come out with everything. So
nice.
I'm looking. So it's going to be fun. I should be looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you go.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty common.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that it wasn't $40; it's $60. I apologize about that. I looked it up while while you were talking, but it's $59.
Okay.
And you have it for Canon and Nikon.
Yep.
So if you like the Nikons, if you like the Canons, I haven't done much really super wide field like you have with your 50 or your 135, but I got this guy that I've been using. This is a 200L, and it's just a little bit shorter than the Space Cat. Space Cat's 250. But I mean, this thing is awesome, and you know what? I'll show you the picture that I took with it, even though it's not that great. And I keep in mind, guys, only DBE was done with this. There has been no post processing at all. But keep that in mind. But you'll see all the stars that I got out of this, and this is about an hour's worth of data in South Carolina, right outside of Charlotte. So let's see if I get that real quick. And let's see if I can find it real quick for you. I swear I just had it up too, but Eric's mug took my picture away. Oh, there it is. Okay. It was in PixInsight. So let me just share this real quick. And share and PixInsight. And that is
Wow.
So that's a North
Okay.
American Nebula, Pelican.
Yeah.
But
Pelican.
look at all the stars you got.
Yeah. That
I mean,
is
and again, it's only actually it wasn't even
dense
GB. It was a quick AB,
Okay.
and that was it. I've
That
done
is a
no
dense
processing
field.
on this little. What was that?
That's a dense field.
Oh yeah, it's
that
crazy.
is crazy. You're gonna have to
It's
do
crazy. And now we so
some
much.
serious star reduction or something.
Oh yeah. Well, again, there's nothing go. I have done nothing with this at all. This was a. Let's see what the original ASI Air Pro and the 200L can do. And
Okay.
that's what I got. And let's see if I can share back. Let's see. I gotta recap.
So no, I like wide field. So
Yeah.
wide field is a lot of fun. It's really forgiving, especially for novices, people just getting started. It's really, really good. Um, it's a good start for you. Because if I give you an example here, let me. I don't know if you can see this yet.
Yep.
This is on my AstroBin page. This is M42 and Bernard 33. There's the horse head and there's the flame. And this was taken to give you some type of just an idea. This is with the 135 Rokinon, and this was with I believe the 294 MC Pro.
Nice.
So just imagine, okay, so this is at 135. Okay, and there's Orion, and there's the belt right there.
Right.
So just imagine what a 50 millimeter can do.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get the whole loop.
So I'm gonna get the whole loop. So no mosaics, nothing like that. I'm just gonna get the whole loop, just right, pretty much just in one frame. So So I'm literally looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna do it like in an HA RGB, something like that.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
No, that's gonna look great.
It should be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna. So that's the project. That's the project for the probably for the winter.
There's too many projects.
To get the whole loop. To get the yeah.
Too many projects. I can't take on another project. I can't do it right now.
I agree. Well, since we're showing off our wide field stuff, I'll go ahead and pop mine up there.
Of course.
Of course.
I have to do it manually here because I don't have that screen set up on a key. So it should have us up there, but that's
yeah, there you go.
Looking at YouTube, but that's a composite of a DSLR shot.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's going on the website. Just so you know,
it's similar. This one wasn't quite as well processed as you can see. I've got a lot of red here. That the one that's on the website's got some pink down here. I have way more color detail, and this isn't quite as blown out. But
that's okay.
It looks better than mine, actually.
But this was taking two different cameras, 3 different imaging nights. So I have a D850 giving me the entire star field, left to right, to give me the 16:9 frame, and then the horsehead and flame was an image out of my 533 through the ED102 from Explore Scientific. And then this was also from the Explore Scientific on the 533. Once I got it all done, then everything kind of popped in, and I got way more detail and stuff like that. So it was a fun learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I spent a fair amount of time. I was just doing some quick digging and couldn't find the good image, but that was the first one I'd thrown up as I was still working through a few things.
So like I'm saying, so if you decide, and this is for the new people when you really want to get into astrophotography, start thinking about just what you have. If you don't have a telescope or a astro or dedicated astro camera, but if you've got a 50 something like a 50 millimeter or an 18 55 stock or something like that, and or you can look at the Rokinon 135. Consider that you can probably get started with just the kit you have to do Milky Way shots and to do some fairly good deep space objects, like M42 or Pleiades, and you can probably get Pleiades and Hyades all in one shot, which is another target I'm actually thinking about going for, because right now Pleiades is out. And, being fall, that's one of the great fall targets is M45. And right there next to it, not too far, in the same constellation is the Hyades star cluster.
Yep.
So it's a great opportunity, to grab those out right now. So, if you haven't had a chance to get it yet, that would be a great target to go for. It's a good start, and it's a good target for beginners. It's a really good target. M45 is a beautiful open cluster. It's a really, that's a good one to start out with.
It's got some really, really, really nice blue nebulosity that surrounds the entire Pleiades cluster, and it's just really, really cool. If you got a nice wide field, probably you're going to need at least a 135, if not that 50, to get it all, because it's long. Yeah, it's long. It's a very, when we say open cluster, it's open, man. It's like huge. So just remember, you need a nice wide field in order to get that. I will not get that with a 200 millimeter lens. No way.
Right.
Not going to happen. So just remember, and again, if you don't know what you can, and I know we've spoken about this before on the show, if you don't know what you can fit with your lens and your camera, always you could go to either Telescopius, astronomy.tools. You could go to a number of websites in order to put your camera in there and put it on an object and see if it'll fit it. So make sure you double check that before you sit there and all of a sudden get out in the field in middle of the dead of winter in January to find out you can't fit it on your chip. So just make sure you kind of plan your imaging session. Plan it.
Planning is the key to all of this. When you're imaging, the first thing is to make a plan. You don't want to, like you're saying, man, you don't want to go out there in the middle of the winter, freezing your tail off and say, oh, I'm just gonna assume that, the stuff I've got. Yeah, I'm gonna get all of Pleiades with my 8SE.
Well, here's a prime example of that with the 533 and the 102. I pulled. So this is the image that I was it finally ended up compositing into the one that you're putting on the website, Dan. But that's the 533. That's 3 hours of imaging.
Look, it's square.
Well, it's square because it's on the 533.
It's square.
3008 by 3008 pixels. So I took those pieces and then matted it onto the 16:9 canvas of the Starfield, shooting the same cluster on the 850, but doing a 16:9 crop and using that Starfield and masking this in to get more detail. Because, of course, I can get a lot better detail with the dedicated Astro camera that I could a unmodded DSLR.
Yep.
So. Yeah, I think that's going to be a project for me. I got a lot of HA data on the Horsehead from last year. So I definitely want to kind of get, I want, I have a really good shot of M42 using a 14-inch Celestron and a DSLR, but it actually turned out to be my wedding magnet. But, I really want one that kind of pops a little bit. It's very, very bland, I think. I didn't know as much as processing as I do now. I got married. Let's see. Wow, it's gonna be 10 years now. So it's been a long time. So I think it's time to get some more data that kind of able to put things together with my the telescope that I used was a club scope, and we have an observatory out in Bortle Five Skies out on Long Island,
Okay.
way out on the east. And we used to go there all the time, and now I don't go there anymore because it's just too far away. It's like an hour and a half drive, so it's like not doing it all the
Oh,
time.
that's nothing, man. To get those kind of skies, to get some darker skies than what you got right now, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but you know what? Then you learn about narrowband, and you're like, why?
Yeah, true.
Why? I'll just go there one night a month. I'll get a RGB Starfield and throw it on my narrowband stuff. I mean, why? Why are you? Why? It's just yeah, it's kind of fake, but it looks good.
It looks good though.
It's kind of like me on the golf course, man. I look great until I hit the ball, But yeah, so listen. On a serious note, wide field is definitely a way to start, especially with a lot of the stuff that people have on hand in the house already. So you sit there and you're not gonna have you're not gonna have a dedicated CCD camera with a filter wheel and a filter slider and a chroma. Well, that's chroma corrector. You're not gonna have that. But the whole thing. If you have a lens and a DSLR and some sort of either mount or something that can, an entry-level tracking mount where you kind of be able to kind of move at the motion of the stars so you don't get trailing stars, you could get one for less than a couple $100, and then you could just get started and you're good to go. Then you want to take the splurge, you want to get a dedicated CCD or a dedicated CMOS camera. That's the way to go. Then all you gotta do is spend $60 on an adapter and get the camera.
Well, so this was the D850 on Andromeda. That's the D850 on Andromeda.
There you go.
So, I mean, I don't have a ton of color. The detail's not quite there. It's a decent image, but it's not gonna win any awards. But again, this was on a Ioptron Skyguider Pro on a camera tripod. Shot with my D850 unmodded.
Nice.
With
I think this one was using the Space Cat 51, so 250 millimeter.
What kind of filter were you using? Just a standard IR
filters.
cut?
I didn't have filters at that point. This is just straight SOC. I want to say it was 2 hours of imaging, probably 30-second exposures.
Okay.
Maybe a minute, but that's about as far as I'd trust that particular mount to track, just because it is it's a alt-az, it's very unforgiving. And being so small with the D850 on there, and even with the counterweights, that's a lot for that payload to be able to handle.
Sure.
Especially once it breaks about 45 degrees, it's a lot of torque. So, that's some of the stuff that I've pulled off. And again, that's fairly wide field. That's 250 millimeter. That's no reducers.
Yes, it is
on a quad. Space Cat, $700 lens. And that was hooked directly to the D850. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just had to have the little adapter.
Yep.
The Nikon mount, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
something like this is awesome.
What was that?
I was saying so something like this, when you have like we were just talking about, so you don't have to spend a lot of money to get started in this hobby. To your point, to even Jason's point, using a small, like a sky tracker, or they've got the Star Adventurers and others that you can put onto an actual camera tripod. And if you've already got the DSLR and you've already got lenses, then you've got a tripod, so you're already 3/4 into it. Just getting an add-on tracker to put onto your DSLR tripod. Yeah, and then you're ready to go, and it's a lot of fun. And you can start getting. They may not be APODs or super quality, but it's going to be some great stuff that you can be able to share with family.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Your family's just going to be astounded by what you could do with the, your camera. And I'm telling you, most of my family, and and I'm sure Eric and Jason are the same way. You show it to your family, and they're like, "Oh man, you don't publish these and sell them and whatever."
Yep.
No.
And you look at it and you're like,
don't sell them. I don't.
Yeah.
Because,
You
I'm
look
not
at it, it's
that
like, yeah.
good. I'm not that good. People are so much better than me. So you got the Robert Gendlers and you got the Damian Peaches of the world and stuff like that. Those guys are Adam Blocks, Ron Bretcher, Peter Pruhl, all those guys, man. Those guys are awesome. Those guys is like literally. I'm like in like this little paddle boat, and they're in like a submarine ready to, But they're really good. They are really good. And they know how to process well.
Yes, they do.
So, and that's 90%
for advice.
And speaking, if you're getting PixInsight, and this is a good segue. Sorry, if you're getting PixInsight and you're really concerned on the learning curve, and oh my God, I just spent $300 on this program and it's so much garbage on the screen. I have no idea where to start. Get this. This I just read through the first chapter and I just got it, but this book here, and that's nothing to take away from Kellner's book Inside PixInsight, because that is awesome too for more advanced users. But if you want to know from soup to nuts in a way that just starts from the very beginning of installation, this book, it comes with 2 books. Mastering PixInsight and the Art of Astro Image Processing. And it literally starts from number 1 is how to install it. That's how in the beginning it does. Then for advanced users, if you just want to know what a process does, it comes with a reference guide for each process and script that's in PixInsight. It's really awesome.
Did you get it directly from Rogelio?
I got it directly from Rogelio, and
okay.
I actually I didn't know about. I guess I was behind the 8 ball on this whole thing, and I saw it on his Facebook page because I'm a follower of him on Facebook. And I was like, oh man, I all of a sudden I saw people like, oh, the first came out like last month, whatever. So I said, you know what? I said, listen, I'm always into finding, no matter how much I know or don't know about a program or something that will help me make my pictures look better, I get it. That's why I still go to, beginners tutorials. I still go to the Masters of PixInsight stuff that so maybe are for beginners, but I always pick up something. I always pick up something with these things. And let me tell you, so far, I'm very impressed with what Rogelio has done with Mastering PixInsight. It's a testament to the whole program. So thank you for coming out with this, Rogelio. It's really good.
Yeah, I just actually, I picked up the digital copy in PDF format. So I have that. I just got it. So I haven't had a chance to get into it yet. I literally just got it this week. And so I remember I think it was last week when I was able to take a look at what you guys were doing, or it was, when you, it was in Messenger, I think, when you had showed it to us, right?
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I got it. I know that he did, both the hardcover, the actual book and the digital. And I said, I'm going to grab the digital for now and check this out. So I'm looking forward to reading it.
Well, and my thing is,
I bought the digital first, just like you. And I'm like, oh man, I thought because he's got a couple of ways you could do it. You get the book, you get the digital, or you get both. And so I bought the digital thinking that I bought both. And I'm like, yo, man, where's my book? He's like, well, you didn't pay for it. So I was like, okay. So I was like, well, can I pay the difference between the whatever? So he was really cool about it. And he I got the book within, I guess, a week of me
Okay.
paying for the hard copy of it, and I do have the PDF. PDF makes it a lot more easier to kind of search for things that you kind of want to just know really quick. But
Yeah.
I kind of like having the book version of it, kind of just like to kind of read through it as I go along and stuff like that, especially when I'm taking.
Yeah, and my thing is like I prefer having a lot of that stuff in ebook because I typically will open it up on like my iPad or on another computer, but then I can search it for
Exactly.
keywords and things like that. So as I'm working through things, I can better skim through.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into that yet. I've been meaning to order at least the ebook version of it, um, and especially with as little as I've actually gotten into PI. And there's so much more I can do. I mean, it's immensely
Oh yeah.
helped with what I have learned, but everything I've done so far has been like 90% University of YouTube and 10% working with you guys and watching the stuff with Ron Breacher
Yeah.
and the couple of things I've been on.
So Scott Cole said, check out the Skywatcher EQM35 go-to mount. Hey, just so you know, right behind me, that's a Skywatcher EQM35. So just so you know, um, uh, I have one of them right here. It's really good for lightweight. Again, I think it's only good for about 20 pounds. But it's really cool. I mean, it runs that what is that? 127 Apex Maxitop Casagrain with the ASI Air on top, but it runs it great. So I mean, no problems with that. So check that out. Ron, who?
Yeah, I was gonna say we got a lot of comments coming up on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, we got Sean Nielsen came back on. I guess he was on an OPT podcast tonight. Tyler's on. Oh, we got a bunch of people on. All right, cool.
Yeah, we got a ton of people.
Yeah. We're starting to get quite a few people on.
Yeah, I see a lot of the same people. I appreciate it. Right, Tim, I've seen before. He's coming to us from Georgia.
Okay.
Tyler, who I know, Tyler's part of the team now. He's been helping out AstroWorld and doing an astounding job with the Instagram account. We've jumped up quite a number of followers since Tyler has been helping us out there. So thank you, Tyler, for all your efforts. We appreciate it. Soon you're gonna have to come on the show instead of doing those OPT commercials you got going on. 22 pounds. Okay, I was off by 2 pounds. Sorry, Scott. It's 22 pounds for the EQM35. But it's great. You know what? For what it is, it's great for what it is. I mean, it's about $700. It's a go-to scope. It's a go-to scope. It's a go-to mount. It does have 2 wires, which I kind of like. One's for the deck motor, one's for the RA motor, so it's kind of like a little weird. It has another a controller underneath that connects to your hand controller, which is again kind of redundant. But for overall, as far as performance is concerned, for a rig that weighs 10 pounds or so, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Somebody just asked was earlier in the comments in YouTube was asking, do I do these guided or unguided? And to answer that question, I always guide. No matter what.
Yep.
For me, there's no question. I always guide, even if it's for 30 seconds. I do guide. I turn the auto guider. So yeah.
And you got to guide.
Yeah,
you got to guide and dither.
With my SkyGuider Pro, I initially started unguided and had a lot of issues, so I found ways to mount a guide scope to my DSLR, and it considerably improved using the ST4 cable directly into the SkyGuider Pro. But man, once I got the AVX and then finally gave up on the AVX because of the issues with the ASIR Pro or ASIR, switching over to my CEM40, I guide unequivocally. It's just been such a blessing, and it's so much more accurate. You don't have to think about it. As long as you got good seeing. Yeah, and no ST4 cable once I learned that.
Port. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, the cool thing for those of you that didn't know, the ASIR is actually using pulse guiding through the USB. It'll inherently do the pulse guiding, which is what they do through PhD 4 or PhD 2.
So yeah, and with these types of setups, when you have something like this, this actually I purchased this is I can't I'm losing what it is.
That's the ASIR one, right?
So this is the ZWO. Yep. Yeah, this is the ZWO. So it actually you can actually put a guiding plate right here,
B plate,
and hook up a guider, and then you can hook up your little guide scope. Usually, what I'll use is I have a small 30 millimeter guide scope, and I'll use like the 120 in here or the 290. I'll just put that slide that right in, and do my guiding right off of that. So, and it works just fine. So, yeah. So if you're when you get to a certain point where you're able to get past, maybe DSLR, or even if you're doing DSLR, but like with the White Cat here, where you have the mounting so you can actually guide and you can still have your DSLR, make the investment and get a nice guide scope and guide camera, and just get PhD 2, or if you have the ASIR, it has it already built in to the software, and start guiding. You won't regret it. It's probably it's almost a must. You have to do it.
Yeah, and that's where I guess a decent segue to announce my new gear. I've got the CEM70 coming.
Jason, I'm sorry. You know what, Jason?
What,
we found somebody that we hate more than you.
Oh, good. Who?
So apparently Scott Cole, who is a customer over at Camera Concepts, lives about 2 hours away from Cherry Springs. So we now hate him.
Oh.
Anyway,
when you're that close to that type of sky.
So I'm super looking forward to my upgrade. For those of you that have been watching a lot, I'm good friends with Mark, who frequents the show on the chat rooms and stuff like that, and is a loyal viewer. Actually, the guy that turned me on to the show. He's upgraded a few mounts, and I finally decided to add a new one to my arsenal. So I got the 70G from Ioptron, the CEM 70G. So a 70-pound payload. It's roughly 30 pounds total head weight. It has a built-in eye guider, but I probably won't be using that function of it unless I switch over to like the Eagle or something like that. But for performance and whatnot, I know there's been a couple little glitches, but I think they've got them ironed out on the ASIR. But I'm looking forward to the upgrade. Not that I have the hardware to put on it yet, but a future-proofed, and it gives me the ability to now be able to image 2 different targets, one narrow with my 102, and a little bit more wide field with my ASCAR 400. So now I can run 2 different sequencing every night if I'm so inclined, or if the targets are available. It's no more of, which one do I want more than that one? So
you know what this means, right?
It's going to be cloudy for the next month.
Well, not only that, you're gonna start spending more money. You got to buy double the stuff.
Well, I already have double the stuff. So the thing is, I already have a 533 and the 2600. I already have 2 scopes. I already have 2 ASIR Pros. I already have 2 guide cameras. I already have 2 guide scopes. So I've been prepping for this for a little while. Yeah, I just didn't have 2
So
mounts.
you've been getting ready.
Yep. So now the big thing will be deciding how badly I feel I need to get a another tri-pier to be able to have one set up at the side of the house and one set up behind the house so that I can be able to image a couple of southern targets occasionally. So because in my backyard I can do most northerly targets and fairly decent east or west. I'm fortunate where I'm at that I can get most of things sweeping in between a 30 and 70 degree cone above the house or above the horizon to the north. Okay. So I can get a lot throughout the night, but I can't get any of the southern targets because of where I have my stuff set up. So by being able to put my CEM40 on a tripod for now in the side yard, it'll give me about an hour window, depending on when I catch it or where it's at, being able to image some southerly targets and still have it secured in my backyard. So
nice.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. You know what? Somebody's got to come out with something. I mean, somebody's got to come out with this because it's driving me nuts. So I have a pier outside with no observatory surrounding it. So it's out to the open air. And it's annoying to me that nobody has come out with some sort of cover or even like a garbage bag. I don't even know what we would do, but something that you like. Yeah, I have an eagle out there. I got the focuser out there. I got the scope out there. I got a guide camera. I got a lot of money out there, and I just want something that covers up the back end of the scope, where it covers the eagle, it covers the stuff from damage. So if it starts to drizzle a little bit, that it's covered from the elements. You know what I mean?
Well, you almost need to create something in photography. There's a company called Peak Design that made a camera hood. So
yeah, no, I know the camera hood. It's something very similar to that.
Yep, that just
but working the other way. But it's got to have an opening for the fan, for the camera. There's got to have some sort of opening. So and you don't want everything covered because the eagle or the ASI air, because that needs some ventilation.
Yep, they got to breathe.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something out there that kind of covers up just as long as I can get out. I got a rain alarm and I got stuff going on when I'm sleeping. So the slightest drizzle, I got blaring sirens in my room. But that still doesn't stop the fact that if it's raining a little bit, that stuff, maybe it's just me being a little anal and a little crazy and a little overprotective, but there's got to be something out there that's a reverse of a rain hood that can kind of do that. You know what I mean?
Hey, just invent it.
Mark Ellis says, do you have an umbrella, Dan?
I would. What's an umbrella? If I had an umbrella. God, come here, 2,500 miles. Come here, I'll give you an umbrella.
Over, show you where to
put it. Here's your umbrella. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's just some of the things that I think about when the TV's broke. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some sort of cover so you can do that if there's like a light drizzle or something like that, so it can protect it. So before the big downpour comes, things are slightly protected before you can do that. So because all I got for me is like a Mattel Gizmo 365, but that's you gotta just be ready to put that thing on.
Yeah.
I've
got the Telegizmos for mine.
Yeah, I have the Telegizmos as well. And I still take my telescope. Yeah, exactly. When I'm imaging, I mean, if it's 2:00 in the morning, it's going to take me a little while to get, dressed and whatever. But that by that time, maybe a full blown rainstorm. So I just want something that's kind of make me sleep better at night. So if I could kind of crawl out of bed and just grab the telescope before it rains, But
So I guess that's the nice thing with living in Arizona. We've got block wall, so if I have to run out there in my chonies, I'm the only person going to see it. So.
And you don't have any rain either, so you're in the
hey, it rains 10 days a year here.
10 days a year.
Well, our total annual rainfall is only 3 inches.
3 inches.
Total 3 inches is our average, and we've only gotten about less than an inch of that this year.
They got 3 inches last week.
Yeah, well, you live in New York. I live in Arizona. It's a desert.
Yeah, well, another reason why we hate Jason.
Not as much as Scott now.
No, Scott's getting on the hated list.
That's pretty sweet, though, to be that close.
Scott Cole goes, "Are you kidding me? I'd be in my underwear to save a $25,000 scope."
Well, if my scope was $25,000, I'd have an observatory. So
still,
my scope's about 1/10 of that.
Yeah, that's one of the next things. I mean, I've got the pier. I haven't put it in yet, but I've got the pier. So sitting down in the basement. And then, again, I was really surprised how light that thing was when
it's really light. Yeah, considering
it's really light because you got to fill it. You got to fill it and all. But I've actually been looking at what was it? Sky Shed.
Yep.
Sky, not the pod, but doing a roll off roof.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they're in Canada. But I was looking at their kits, and some of their kits, they're not that badly priced. At least maybe they had updated pricing or something like that. But I was looking at an 8x12, right? And it was about $5 or $6 grand.
Yeah. Yep.
For everything. So I'd have to give him a call so I can understand, is this all the material, something like, I did some research about a year ago, and I think that's pretty much everything you're going to need. I think you're good to go. From what I remember when I was purchasing, when I was looking, and they actually sell the plans if you want to buy, if you don't even want the kit, they actually sell the plans for it. But they'll send everything to you and you just got to build it. Yeah, you just got to build it. So, and that is the thing. So who knows? Maybe I'll just buy the plans and then just contact my local hardware store and just start ordering the kit, ordering the gear and everything, and order the roof, because I'll probably get some, maybe, I don't know if I'll do a shingle, probably a metal roof. Yeah. And just go and do it.
And I know.
I'll save myself maybe $1 grand or $2.
Like, I've got a brother-in-law that's building a house right now, so lumber, he got hit with like $50K in additional lumber costs because of all the storms and stuff this year. Lumber cost has gone through the roof.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's building like a 3,200 square foot house, and they hit him with $50K of upcharge because the price jumped.
Wow.
And they're saying it's because of all the hurricanes and tropical storms and stuff that have gone through the southeast. And there's another one right now going through most of Florida, is getting just pounded right now. Tropical storm, I think, went Hurricane Cat 1 and back to tropical storm today. But it's just.
I wonder how much it would be for metal studs compared to wood studs.
It's about a 25%.
If you're talking about an upcharge, if you're talking about an upcharge, now, or a cost for increased cost for wood, that may be something to consider.
So
I still might end up using some sort of wood.
A standard 2x4x10, which is what is considered standard framing lumber, is usually running about right around $5-6 at 2x4x10. It's about 14 right now for steel stud, which is aluminum.
Yeah.
So it's almost twice the cost.
Yeah, so screw that.
Yeah.
Well, and then you got to have self tappers, and it's a whole different beast. I worked in construction for a while, so I'm used to having to deal with some of that stuff. But the metal studs really aren't a performance gain. It's great if you're doing an office building to make walls more easy to move, but from a cost perspective, it's actually cheaper to just do lumber.
Just stick with lumber. Yeah, I'll just stick with my my lumber. It's fine. It's not that much of an upcharge, compared to doing steel. So
Well,
yeah, no.
One of the guys on the ASI or beta group actually took down his pool that had the waffled
Christmas.
Took down his pool and took the sides of the pool, made a smaller circumference, and built his own. And then bought the heat shrink for wintering your boats. Built a PVC frame and heat shrink the shell around it, and made his own roll off.
There you go.
Used an umbrella mount to grab the center of it, so he just jacks the umbrella up, rolls it off the edge, and tips it over the deck. And he chewed up his entire back deck. I don't know how his wife felt about it, but that's what he did.
I guess sometimes whatever works, if you got the ingenuity to go that route.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was even at one point. We talk about sheds on and off every once in a while. I've still got that idea of using a Rubbermaid shed. Doing a push. Just push the whole shed. On some rollers or a track and just open it all up. So I know we talked about that too.
Yeah.
So
I know the problem with most of the Rubbermaid sheds is because they're not solid walls. So like I just bought a Craftsman version of it to do a little side shed in my backyard for additional storage. They're maximum of like 3 feet wide, so they can't handle the load because they're all keystone together. And the rigidity is the fact that they all lock together, so you can't just put the roof and have it slide off.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I'm like, oh wait, it doesn't work if you don't lock the roof into it.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Hold on. I gotta take care of Titan. Just a second. Be right back.
All right. Titan's got to go out. So again, actually, Sean from Visible Dark said he's got kind of like the same exact thing that I have. Had some rain on his parade once, and that wasn't fun. Mark Ellis has lost track of how much he spent on his. We've all lost track of how much we spent on our equipment, Mark. I don't even know. Over the past 25 years, who knows how much we've spent. It's definitely a rabbit hole. But you know what? It's
the
fine.
general rule of thumb is,
we like it.
God help us when we die that our wives don't sell it for what we told them we paid for it.
Exactly.
Mark doesn't have that issue, but
it's definitely interesting. I mean, I got a Obsession visual telescope in storage right now because I got nowhere to put it. I have an 18-inch Obsession just sitting there, and it's dying to come out. But I've been doing so much photography recently that and I kind of like. I have a 12-inch upstairs too that I use visual, and that is literally right upstairs, and it's an easy bring downstairs. But I just don't do visual anymore. I just don't.
I've been.
I get more out of photography.
Yeah, I think the next save up and whatnot for next year is I really want to get something that I can do, like in the 2,000 millimeter focal range. So I don't know if it's going to end up being the similar to what Mark just did with his what was it, the RA or Richie Creighton RC, or if I'm going to end up doing more of a like a Maz Casagran, the 15 to 2200 millimeter focal length. do a little bit with planetary just because I'd like to, but also just get that reach on some of the nebula.
Yeah.
I know that the Mazcas isn't going to be good for the nebulas because they're typically like an F12, F15.
Yeah. Well, the Mac cast that I have in the back is F15.
Yeah.
So they're good for planetary. You put a 2x barlow in there, you're at F30.
Yeah.
And then you're working all right. If you get it on your chip, if your chip is big enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the issue that I had with the Mars opposition, man, I just gave up on planetary. I'll take the 7, or actually not even the 7, the 5 objects that I would actually image with planetary. Then I'll go deep sky. Don't worry about it. I'll let the other guys have fun with the planetary. I can't.
Yeah.
That's still a goal for me is to do planetary, but it's a totally different beast than DSO, man. And
totally.
God bless the planetary guys, man, because they know what to do. That's something. It really is.
It is
even the whole
different
process of processing.
Well, and I'd like to do it, especially because that's what my daughter's really interested in. But the same thing, once you get past the fact you can only really image like 5 targets, it's got to do. I have to have hardware that'll do something other than just use it for 5 objects. It's a lot of investment.
Yeah.
So
it is.
I had a customer that came into the store the other day. I was like, I was doing when everybody talks about I want to take images of the planets, or I take images of the planets. I said, well, you get this nice 11-inch edge or something like that, and you could spend a good amount of money, but and I always use a golf kind of thing. I don't know if I've used this before on the show, but it's like if you're a golfer, you guys can answer this question. When you go to a driving range, what do you bring? What do people that don't have any idea what they're doing bring to a driving range to hit the ball?
They bring their driver. If they have no idea,
they bring their driver.
They bring their drivers. Right.
They bring their driver. Right now, when you go play a real game of golf, how often do you use your driver?
If you're lucky, at an 18-hole golf course, maybe 12 times.
Yeah, 12 13
maybe?
Times.
12, 13 like that.
You got your short par 4s.
Yeah, you got your par 4s and par 3s. Yeah.
Right. So now you're going to spend all this money on a telescope. You're going to spend $3,000 on a telescope that you're going to use for 5 objects. See, I got a problem with that. I don't know. It's just me. That's why I haven't done solar.
Some people have more money than brains.
Yeah.
No, listen. Hey, planetary is awesome, and there's a lot going on there. So I don't want to take anything away from planetary shooting.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because you can do a lot more. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's a lot harder than deep sky. It's a lot harder than deep sky.
To fight the atmospheric turbulence and to be patient. And with us, to do planetary, you've really got to take seeing into consideration.
Yeah.
To do planetary. It's that other X factor versus what we have to do, for doing deep sky. For us, it's just, hey, for the most part, are we gonna have clouds or no clouds?
Yeah.
Right.
What's our transparency? What's our transparency going to be like? Are we going to have clouds or no clouds? And can we do this? And if we're good, and if we've got at least no more than 10% clouds, I'm out. I'm doing it. I'm getting to work.
Yep.
But with planetary, it's not just got to deal with the clouds, but now you got to deal with the atmosphere. You got to deal with the atmospheric turbulence. You got to deal with the seeing, all that stuff, man. And so, and to get your focus perfect, you got to be spot on with your focus, because you're dealing with that atmosphere and sometimes you're not using a batten off mask or anything like that. So because you're using Barlow's and you're going much higher magnification, and the only thing sometimes you can use is either a nearby moon or a star that's somewhat
Yeah.
close to what you're imaging, the planet you're imaging, and and then, like I said, getting that focus down to fight through all this. So, my hat's off to the planetary guys because they got some mad skills, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I agree. It takes a really special type of person to do planetary. I can't do it. I don't like, it drives me up a wall. I just want to take my telescope and drop it off a ladder. But
I'd like to eventually, but right now I've got so much more to learn with DSO and my pursuit
yeah,
of DSO.
I agree.
I'm just gonna.
I agree. And there's so much. I mean, I'm trying to image the Bubble Nebula, and now I got a 400 millimeter scope, so it's a fairly wide field of view, and the bubble's very small. Now, in that field of view, you have the bubble, you have a star cluster, you have another nebula over there, and trying to process all three of those things and keep that picture straight. I didn't get this gray hair for nothing. I'm telling you right now, because it's hard. It's hard.
But hey, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
That is true.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yep, that is very, very true.
And if that was the case, then people wouldn't appreciate what others and what we can do and what others are doing. People wouldn't appreciate it. If it was, just, hey, snap a picture, click, and you're done.
Yep. If that was the case.
So don't sell ourselves short, man, because it's not. It's not. We are in a type of a hobby that we need, we learn a lot. I mean, we're constantly learning. Just to your point, Mastery picks insight, Insight picks insight, going to Masters of Picks Insight webinars and all these other tools that we have, to do this. And the amount of money we put into not just taking the photo, with our telescope, but to process it and to get a nice image to share with people. It takes some time, man. And it takes time and patience and a little bit more a little bit of educating yourself, so
yeah.
It's worth it. But I tell you, it's worth it.
Yeah, actually, before we came on the show, I was working on my Wizard Nebula.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm
Okay.
still playing around with it a little bit. I'll show you real quick what I got going on, because I actually have it up. Let's see, share and Pix Insight, and that's behind there. So that's what I got going on so far.
Okay. It doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad so far.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got some stuff going on in the blacks, but other than that, I'm still playing around with the curves. I want to get. You know what I found out, that I have half the H alpha, that I do all the rest.
Okay.
So I need more H alpha to throw in the G to get like the kind of gold over here a little better.
Sure.
But I mean, I got some nice definition in there. I want to get the hand too. The hand over here. I want to get this a little better.
The hand over there. Yep.
But that's what I got going on so far. I also took I didn't even start processing yet. I took just for the hell of it, I wanted to take the Andromeda Galaxy from my backyard to see if I could do it.
Yeah.
Last night.
And
What's
how's it
that?
going so far? How's it going so
Oh,
far
I
with
mean,
getting
I,
it?
I haven't done any processing with that. I can show you one picture, one 5 minute picture if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up real quick. Open. Where is it? 380.
Yeah. Yeah, show me that, and then I've got another topic I want to bring up with regarding this guy. So when you show me that, I want to bring another topic about the EAF.
Yep, and here it is. And this is going to be one 5 minute shot. That's one 5 minute
Okay.
shot.
1 5 minute shot. Okay, so it's getting started.
Yep, that's one 5 minute shot. So I have total. Let's see, M31. No, the wrong one. M31. Where are you? Up top.
Very top.
And so I got all this. So that's 33. And then I got this.
And that's 72. Yeah, 72
Oh
of those.
God, I didn't see it down there. Yeah, so I got like 105 minutes. I got 500 minutes. So what is that? Like 7 hours, something like that. 7.5 hours.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's more than enough for the Andromeda Galaxy, but
Okay.
we shall see.
All right.
Yeah. So let me switch back over. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. And we're back.
All right. So I know we got about half an hour left in the show.
Yep.
But I wanted to bring back up because I've thought about this. The past weekend I was imaging M33,
Okay.
and I was using the RASA, and I posted this question in Facebook, and one thing that I didn't realize, and one of the things we're learning, is backlash with it. Learning about the EAF autofocusing and backlash, and that's one of the things I never really took into account. And still, learning and trying to understand and everything, because I set up my auto guiding, everything, and I imaged probably about 6 or 7 hours because I got started early. And I had set the EAF at check every 2 degrees. If there's a 2-degree temperature change, do an E8, and after 1 hour, every hour, I believe, and also after the meridian flip. But anyway, I ended up getting donuts even after having everything, focused, or so I thought. I went to bed and everything was set, and then when I wake up, the latter part of the of my session, it was all, it was nothing but donuts. And that's one of the things that if you're using an autofocuser like the EAF or the Moonlight have the Moonlight autofocuser with the Moonlight focuser or what have you. It's one of the things you're going to have to take into consideration is one, there's a lot of things to think about. One person mentioned I probably need to set my autofocus settings, quite a bit shorter.
The step size, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to set the step size. I've got to set the interval of when it checks shorter, because it being F2. And there are certain things I have to take into consideration versus, say, an F4 or an F7 refractor. So there's a lot of things I'm still have to learn, So again, we're still learning. You're constantly learning about this stuff. So if anybody has tips or anything like that they want to share on using the EAF or the autofocusers, anything like that, shoot them over to me through Messenger or Facebook or what have you, and let me know because, like I said, I'm still learning a lot of this stuff. So it's It was kind of frustrating. It was kind of frustrating to be, you go to bed, everything's nice, you get nice tight stars, and I would do the analysis, and the analysis, of the average star size would be like 2.8 or 3 or something like that, and then I wake up, then for the HFD it would be like 2 or 3. Something a nice low number, and then I wake up the next morning. I'm like, all right, let me check out the iPad. It's at 9. Exactly, it's at 9. It's donuts.
Now, you're using the ASI Air. Are you doing the temperature change in time?
Yeah,
I do the temperature change in
time. So I'm doing the temperature change in time in the autofocus, and I also do to run the sequence after the automatic or meridian flip.
Yep.
So I have all 3 of those, but yet I still came out with donuts at the end of the session.
And that was with
it doesn't happen all the time, but it did happen with this particular instance when I was imaging M33.
That was with the Rasa?
Yeah, this was with the Rasa.
Okay. Yeah, I can't speak to that because I haven't played with that, but I know that using it on my refractors, I haven't had the same issues. I've been able to maintain good seeing for me on a decent star. It'll be like a 1.7 to 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And then bad seeing, it'll get up to like 2.5, 2.6. With mild cloudy. Once it gets, like you guys said, about above 10-12% cloud cover, it's pointless.
Yeah.
But if it's just a short burst, I'll just shoot through it and trash those images later. But my EAF, the autofocus routines have been pretty well spot on.
Now, have you kept your settings pretty much with the settings? Have you pretty much, what are the modifications have you made? Have you made any modifications, like say the backlash or anything like that, or kept it pretty much at default the way when you got it out the
pretty
box?
Well at default. I didn't do anything with backlash. I did change my steps to be smaller steps, so I'm 100 coarse, 10 fine. There's no reason other than that's just what I chose. I know there's a metric that you can do to figure out what the correct is, but I haven't seen a need to do any different. It's been behaving well for me. And it's been working on both of my scopes, the ASCAR and the Explorer Scientific 102 ED. So
I'll have to fire up my my ASI Air and everything. Everything the Rasa right now. Everything's in the garage since it was it's been overcast for a while. I've got to fire it up, and I'll have to log into it and take a look.
Well, and I know my parents in Metro Detroit got some decent storms the other day. Did the storms come through you guys? Is it headed over?
Oh yeah. That's one of the reasons why I brought everything in. To avoid those storms. So yeah, everything's inside the garage now.
Yeah.
So speaking of focusing, actually, I did pull the trigger on one new piece of equipment. It's probably going to be coming in. In anticipation of the 120, I pulled the trigger on an Asato.
Oh, you did? Okay. So something to go along with the Eagle?
Yep. Eagle, and then eventually the Arco will come into it. So it's going to be a total decked out Primaluce setup. I got the Primaluce rings. Now I guess I got to switch out the Williams Optics dovetail to get a Primaluce dovetail now. So
I don't think they'll be mad at you if you stay with a Williams Optics dovetail.
It's red, so I kind of it always says Williams Optics on one side. So I mean, but
we'll just have them send you a sticker.
The only thing that I'm concerned about, I know I was talking to Mark Ellis about it. About the back focus on it is only 15 millimeters. and so it's only like an inch and a half. So I spoke to Tom Bramwell regarding what the deal was with that. And basically what he said was, you know what, to be honest with you, no focuser likes to be out that far out anyway. So just get some extension tubes and throw them on the back and get 2-inch extension tubes if you need any more. But the odds are you probably won't need a lot.
Okay.
So we'll
let
see.
us know how it goes when you get it. Yeah, let us know how it goes when you get it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's what is it? 0.04 microns per step. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like as far as the accuracy is concerned, and no backlash, zero, like almost none. So
And how much is up
we'll
to let
see.
that run?
I think for the 2-inch was $650. I think.
Okay.
And it's also got Wi-Fi, so it's Wi-Fi adaptable.
Okay.
So not that I need the hand controller, but I mean, you know, it literally goes right. You know, all I need is like a 3-inch USB cable. It goes right into the Eagle. I lose a controller. I lose that big bulky motor for the Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
And the weight of the Moonlight focuser itself, I lose all that. I lose about 7 or 8 ounces off the back end.
Okay.
Tyler says, "Shut up! I'll just get a Moonlight."
Hey, Tyler, you can buy mine. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get a Prima Luce for the other one too. but hey, listen, not the Ron over at Moonlight. I'm telling you right now, unparalleled customer service for Moonlight. I got to tell you. I mean, you know, literally, it's a great product. You know, I don't have the Nightcrawler like Mark and Amy Astro and all those guys have, but you know what? What I have the version 2, 2.5 inch for refractors, and it's been awesome. It's been really great. I really can't complain about it at all. I think I've gotten great images out of it. So, you know, there's not been any issue. The clutch doesn't freeze. The backlash is no big deal. There's very little, if any. I mean, it's really, really a good, well-made product. And now, if I don't know if you've seen it, I know this picture's floating around the net of the version 3 for Moonlight. That actually the controller is now built into the motor housing. And so you lose the controller. There's a USB port right in the motor. So, that seems like that's going to be a big win for Ron over Moonlight. So,
well, and I did the Moonlight manual focuser, the Crayford focuser, for my ES102. Only because I wanted to be able to have a little bit more versatility, and had I not done it, I would have needed like almost 80 millimeter of spacers. Yeah, it was huge. It was ridiculously huge. And the nice thing with the Moonlight is he sells an 1.5 inch and a 2-inch spacer to put on a flange. So you don't have
he
spacers.
sells 1 3/4 now too.
Oh, does he?
Yep.
But, you know, the fact that it was so customizable, and then as I changed out my imaging train a little bit and added in the filter drawer, I then had to shorten it a little bit, so I was able to go down to my 1.5 inch instead of the 2-inch, or the 1-inch instead of the 2-inch, and that lessened a fair amount of weight, and also helped move my center of balance a little bit further up into the mount. So it made a world of difference. Yeah,
I'm telling you. I mean, you know, it's a great focus. It really is.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's done a great job. You know, he does good work over at Moonlight.
Yeah, I have nothing but good to say about him. And every time I've called, he answers the phone. He's been really responsive. So, I mean, if you're looking for specialty stuff, it's definitely the way to go.
It's made in the USA.
Yep. Now, I did see on there, who was it? Somebody, George Lutch was asking if anybody has a good source for spacer riser blocks.
ADM. ADM's got riser blocks.
ADM makes good ones. I've done Primaluce.
Yeah, so Primaluce sells a bunch with their plus systems.
Yep.
I think they go up to 30
30
millimeters,
mil.
I
Yep.
think.
Yep. 5, 10,
I
20,
have
and
the
30.
Stellar View riser blocks,
Mm-hmm.
which are really lightweight, and they're about 35, I think, millimeters.
The nice thing with the ADMs, I think he has a channel cut in it, so that as you're dealing with different rings and plates, I know one of the things that I ran up against on most of my stuff is using, because I was a Williams Optics guy for a long time,
Right.
I was using the Williams Optics plate, but you can't use a Primaluce spacer and rings on a Williams Optic plate. The spacing's off.
Right.
Yep.
So you have to
It
have
is
a
off. I
Primaluce
have
plate.
the same thing.
Now, so the way I got around that was I went to my local hardware store and bought stainless steel risers. You can get them in 5, 10, 20, 30 millimeter, and just do a single bolt through. Not ideal. Works perfectly on my ADM, but not a comfort level that I was happy with on my ED102. So I ended up buying the Primaluce rings and couldn't get a plate in the time frame that I wanted to be start imaging. So Mark hooked me up with his Radian plate, which has a bunch of X cuts on the plate, so you can move and get your spacing a little bit more universal. Those Radian plates are awesome. I can't say enough good about them.
They're really good.
Mark's kind of wishing he hadn't given it to me. Because he's
Sounds
not using it.
Dan's got a few of the ADM risers he was just showing.
Yep.
Yeah, so these are the ADM. This is a pack of 4, but this is what they look like. They're basically an aluminum riser. I believe it's a 1/4-20 hole in the bottom and on the top, so you can screw it on both sides. And this is the stack of 4. And I believe they come up. I think the biggest one that they sell is 2 inches. They actually come in a whole bunch of different sizes. There you go. And then this is a 2-inch one here. There's a whole bunch of situations as far as a bunch of different rises. But just remember, just like Jason was talking about, is that if you're dealing with different dealers and different parts, sometimes the holes don't match up. So the one good thing about ADM is that I actually called up Anthony Davoli over at ADM, and I was like, Anthony, I know I have a weird thing going on here. I have Stellar View riser blocks, and I got a Williams Optics dovetail, and I got a Primaluce thing on the top. So I mean, I need to fit this all together. He's like, oh, just tell me what size you want, and I'll core drill it for you. So I sent him the parts, and he drilled it for me for free, and it fits perfectly. So so another guy, right in New York, that does really, really great work. ADM, I have a bunch of their products, just I'm sure as everybody else does, and the quality and the marksmanship that he does, and the machinery that he uses is just awesome.
Yeah, I replaced with the Ace hardware knobs because I couldn't get my ADM ones in time, but he's still willing to make a set, and I may still take him up on it. I didn't like the style of knob that they used on my CEM40, so I put a bigger thread on it, so I had a bigger bite to be able to get a decent grip to make sure it was torqued, because the 2 different torsion screws were independent, because it's a dual plate setup, so you can either do the Vixen or the Los Mandy style.
Yep.
which is a great setup, and I love that it has that flexibility. It's one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of the iOptron platform for mounts. But I just hated the way that their torsion screws worked. So like even in the front for my elevator adjustment, I went and bought a longer bolt so that I could take and get a better bite to be able to, or that my Alt-Az to be able to get my azimuth adjusted better, because they were so close in and trying to figure out which way it needed to go. So I just went and bought a little bit longer screw with a decent knob on the end of it, and took a die grinder, rounded the ends off so it didn't score the center pin, and it's been working just fine. You know, I may still end up getting the ADM just because they look good. You know, I wish that I know he's doing different colors now. He was doing the ADM orange for everything. I think now
for
red
everything.
or black.
Yeah, because when I have, because with my AVX, I had him replace the saddle.
Yep.
With an ADM, with the dual, with the Vixen and the Los Mandy, the dual, the DV saddle, and it's great. And it has much larger knobs, and I'm able to get around them and grip them a lot better, especially in the winter, versus the stock tensioners that the AVX has. So it's a lot. That's a lot better for me. I've got I've got one of his Pole Master adapters that I mount my Pole Master to, and I'm able to put that underneath my Rasa right there on the Los Mandy plate, right underneath the Rasa. I can do it on almost, and it's a DV, you know, there. So I can use it on my Vixen underneath one of my smaller, like the White Cat here. I can hook it up right to the bottom of this guy, to the bottom of the Celestron Vixen plate, or I can hook it up to the bottom of the William Optics Los Mandy. So the type of products that, you know, ADM puts out, great. There's some really good accessories. They're great accessories. I really enjoy them, and they're fairly priced, so I have no problems with them at all.
All right, well, George Lutch asked me how I hooked up those ADM riser blocks, and unfortunately what I did was I didn't go with the ADM riser blocks on my current setup. I actually went through ADM for the DVUP. Now this may look like something that people have seen on Amy Astro, because I kind of got it from her. But I got Stellar View riser blocks here, and I screwed them into the Williams Optics dovetail, and I had Anthony at ADM drill another hole in these DVUP brackets, and I screwed them on. Now what I could do is I could take this is a whole kind of meat and potatoes of the entire system. I got everything on here. So I got the Eagle attached on there. I got all my USB cables. I got the Echo and my focus controller on here. I slap this on to the mount, and then I take whatever telescope I want on top, and I could use either D or V on here in order to, you know, use whatever telescope I want. So if I want to use the 150 PDS or the 80 or the 120, it's not going to matter, because I could just slap it on here in order to do this, and then this stays the same. So the focuser stays the same, everything stays the same. So that's what I did with this, and it's solid. I mean, it's perfect. So that's what I did with that. So I just wanted to let everybody see that.
That's pretty slick right there. I like that idea.
Dan, to answer his question, can you talk about how to use the ADM risers?
Yeah, so with the ADM risers, let me see if I could get them back. Did I put them away? Yeah, I did. All right, so basically with the ADM risers, and I can show you real quick even on this dovetail as I drop screws. But basically all you really need to do is it's got a quarter 20 on the bottom, quarter 20 on the top, and you can just lay it. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so you're going to have to forgive me. There we go. And there you go. And that's how you would do that. And then you could put the other one on the other side here. And then you could lay this on top if you wanted to. I got the Stellar Views. It weighs probably just about the same, and it's just one piece. So, you know, that's why I kind of went with it, because I figured out the Stellar Views a little bit later. But I kind of had to do a little bit of, as you can see, I had to do a little screw and nut job, kind of. I don't know if you can see it, but there you go.
Yeah, I can see it.
Not the most perfect solution. The actual regular solution is there is a hole here that you can put a screw directly through. But of course, when you're dealing with William Optics, Stellar View, and ADM, the holes are not going to match up. So eventually what I'll end up doing is either going all William Optics or all Prima Luce or all whatever in order to do this. But ADM is the only distributor that I know that makes something like this.
Correct, and they're the only person I've found that makes it.
Yeah.
I will say that the Radian plates are nice for doing what you've done there with the
slanted holes.
Slanted holes, because you can made it up a little bit easier, but it also has more quarter 20 style mounts in there, so it gives you a lot more areas to attach to more uniformly.
Let me see if I have it. Yeah, I do have one here, believe it or not. Now, these are actually really cool. I didn't even take it out of the bag yet. I just wanted one because I just wanted to see what I bought. A small one just because I wanted
a 7-inch.
Yeah, it's a small one. But if you take a look at them, the holes are slanted here. So if you need that extra cut, like the holes don't actually match, all you got to do is move back and forth a little bit until it matches up, because they're slanted side to side like that, which is really, really, really cool. And they're lightweight. What they did, they were really smart about it too. What they did was they hollowed out, I don't know if you can see it in the bag, but they hollowed out the bottom of it to lose more weight of the actual dovetail. So they really gutted this thing, but it's solid. On both sides, they took out a whole bunch of metal out of there. So they did it well.
Okay. How much something like that run?
I think this was $79, I think.
Okay.
It's like $1 an inch, you know? So let's see if I can open this up so you can see it a little better. There we go. Can't believe I've never even opened this thing. There we go. I mean, it's super light, man. It's for a 7-inch dovetail. My ADM is a lot heavier than this, but here you go, so you can see it a little bit better as they hollowed out all this area, this useless area that would normally be filled with metal. It's all hollowed out on both sides. It's all hollowed out here. And again, like what Jason was talking about, these slanted holes here. So if you have something that doesn't kind of fit, all you got to do is move them up and down until it matches up with the sliding holes.
Yep.
With the slanted holes.
Smart.
It's really, really, it's really smart. It's smart. So, and it comes with a nice sticker from your lovely people at OPT Telescopes under Radian.
Yep.
So I'll show you mine real quick. So here's my beast. This is
oh my God.
ED. Like I said, a beast. So this ran downstairs, but you can see the
same thing. Yep.
Radian plate. You can see the reflection there. So they've hollowed a lot out. This is a 14-inch plate. You know, and I've got the Prima Luce rings and their spacer. And then I've got a Williams Optics V plate up there for handle.
Yep.
Hidden behind my USB cables here.
You got the Alex Tech cord wrap.
Yep. This is my big baby.
Why do you have a laser finder on there? Why?
Um, when I was initially trying to get things lined up, it was nice to have it, and
Take that off. Take it off.
I don't use it. It's just been sitting there, but it was good counterweight to balance out the rig. So on this side, I've got my ASI Air with a USB port brick on it.
Nice.
Okay.
But everything's all Alex teched out, so this goes into my plate on the Ioptron to pass power through. So I power the mount, and then the mount powers the ASI Air, which then powers everything else.
There you go.
But that's my big boy.
Okay.
Can't wait to get my big boy back.
Yeah, I gotta do some more cable management. I gotta do some more cable management on my 127. It's all apart right now.
Yeah, you know what? The for the Eagle, I mean everything is. So I only need 3 of the ports, the power ports out, and the 4th one I just happen to have an extra Prima Luce cable with a 2.1 adapter on it.
Yeah.
So now I got permanent power for another 2.1, which I use for my flat panel.
And Tyler was asking what focuser on my 102. It's the EAF, the ZW
There you go.
EAF.
Yep. Yeah, see, once I get the Prima Luce, this is going to be gone. This whole Moonlight controller will be gone. Another power cable will be gone. And I mean, it's gonna lighten the load a hell of a lot. So you can get this out of here and put this back in the living room.
Yeah, just don't drop that thing.
Oh, so Tyler, the focuser is the Moonlight. I took the stock focuser off from Explore Scientific, and I put on the Moonlight focuser because when I got my first one, you guys were, or the customer support was really good in getting it replaced because the rack and pinion didn't work. The fine focus was shot.
Yep.
They replaced that fine focuser for me and sent the whole new focus unit. But I decided that I wanted the Moonlight to adjust the spacer so I didn't have to have so many spacer blocks in there for spacing. So.
And Dan brings out another big boy. What the heck?
Well, he's got like 30 scopes.
Yeah.
I do. So, no, this is my main imaging scope. Okay. And so I got my Esprit 80 here with my Evo guide, with my 178mm guide scope, with my S-Big camera on the back. And this big purple thing is the Moonlight focuser. So remember what I was saying before where you had the ADM adapters on there. I only got a nice little another 7-inch dovetail here. Plop that on the top and I'm good to go. And then all I do is plug in 4 power cables and I'm good. And it makes it so much easier to kind of put everything together. It really makes it so much easier. So.
Yeah. Had I had a Eagle, I'd probably be doing the same thing. I remember when that first hit, I think Eric showed it to us, and then we showed it on air. But building that rig to make it basically a universal base for you to put everything on was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Amy Astro did a really cool thing in doing that.
Yeah, she did it right, man. Mine's like a hack job compared to what she did, but I mean, she really did a really good job. And if you haven't seen it, I want to say it was she named it. I want to say it was the Infinity, I think, if I remember right. And basically, she walks you right on through it on how to kind of make this. So all you really have to do is take something like what I just showed you and put the telescope on a separate dovetail. And you could use that meat and potatoes of equipment, which is your focus controller, your either ASI Air or your Eagle or whatever you use, a USB hub, throw everything on that dovetail and then keep it the same for every single type of telescope that you have.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is plop on the telescope, plug in the wires, and you're off to the races.
And you're all
good.
set.
You know, it makes so much sense. It probably changed my setup when I wanted to switch between scopes by a half an hour at least. So
yeah, it does make things a lot simpler if you have multiple scopes. And it's smart. It's a smart way to go if you have the kit, if you have the stuff to get, you know, it's a smart way to go in using those risers and setting everything up on like maybe like the Los Mandi or something like that. Setting up your ASI Air, all of that, or in your case, the Eagle, setting up everything right there on that one plate, and then having it, you know, having those risers there so that you can put your actual scopes or interchange and swap between scopes. You know, I kind of like that.
Yeah, so, you know, it works. It works, especially if you're dealing with, I mean, I wouldn't sit there and, you know, put a 14-inch Rasa or a 14-inch Schmidt on top of that and then, you know, switch it out with a 80-millimeter scope, you know, but, you know, so you know, if you're dealing with, sorry, go ahead.
If you're dealing with similar size scopes, though, if you're dealing with, you know, similar size scopes, then it makes sense for you. You know,
exactly.
So like for me, you know, that might, you know, that could even make sense, you know, to swap, not with the Rasa, but, you know, if I've got, you know, if I had my GT71, I've got my White Cat here, maybe, I doubt it. I have to think about it. The 126 is probably too big, but maybe not.
No, I don't think so. You got to remember, it's all about the mount too. So I mean, as long as you have the longer dovetail and the risers are spread out enough for your biggest telescope, but enough close together for your smallest one.
Smallest telescope.
You know, so you kind of want the middle of both worlds. Like my dovetail, my 7-inch dovetail, doesn't go end to end with those riser blocks.
Right.
It's kind of like in the middle of the brackets. So then when I put the 150 up there with the, you know, another 14-inch dovetail that I have over here, it'll just go right on top and it'll still have enough spread across the back in order so it doesn't kind of, you know, it's easy to level.
It's easier to level and get everything in balance. It's easier to balance your declination and everything. That's would be the big thing, is to balance that deck.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Nice. Well, it's 10 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock mine. So
let's see. So
I can show you guys real quick. I found
scopes S3120 and an RC10. You know, Mark, I'd be honest with you. It might hold. It better hold the 120 because I'm planning on using it for the 120. But I'm thinking it'll be fine because I used it with the 150 PDS, which is, I guess, about 3 feet in length. So, you know, it's not as heavy as the 120, but as far as length is concerned, I think it's going to be fine for the weight. I think it's going to be fine.
It should be, unless you're putting like a Rasa or 11-inch up there or something ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think what the 120 is like 22 pounds. I think the regular one.
Yeah,
well, that's
something
what
like that.
Got. One of his scopes.
Yeah, so I think that'll be fine. I wouldn't put no, you know, 40-pound, you know, C14 on there. I wouldn't be doing that. But
if you got the scopes are all relatively close to the same, you know, weight, you know, give or take, then I think you should be fine. So to make that, you know, you made a point, then, you know, with I could probably most likely use my Rasa 8. You know, my Rasa 8 is only,
I think you could put the Rasa 8 on there. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. I probably could put the Rasa 8 on there because it's like only 20 pounds.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
So I don't think that would be a problem.
So I found the Amy Astro Star Maiden project.
Yeah, but there was one before that. I want to say it was the Infinity. I could be wrong on the name, but I think there was one before. The Star Maiden's the second one.
Okay.
If I could be wrong, I could have it backwards, but it's all the same type of idea. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out the Amy Astro video on it, and it's actually it's what turned me on to that type of setup. So
Yep, I got to buy more stuff.
what is that George Carlin? I got it. Now I need a place to put more stuff. Now I got stuff all over the world.
Oh, it's all good though, man.
I love that guy.
All right, well,
so it's 11 o'clock,
yep,
10 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, right?
Yep, 9 o'clock here.
9 o'clock. Yeah, it's 2 hours now, so 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to save daylight. We're trying to get rid of it so we can shoot more.
I wish we didn't have daylight saving time. I really wish.
Well, we were on a track there for a while that everybody else is going to get rid of it and follow our lead, but they all chickened out.
No, I don't know. I hate when it gets dark at 10 o'clock at night.
That's the thing I'm loving right now. Like, it's getting dark at 6:15, 6:30. The problem is I'm in the middle of trying to get dinner with the family, get the preschooler off to bed, and finish the honeydew projects, so I still don't have a scope up because it's sitting on the floor here.
All right, well,
it's nice to get set up at 5 o'clock and start imaging by 5:30.
Yep.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you. All I do is check the polar alignment real quick and then go.
Yep.
So.
Well, you got a peer, so you don't have to worry about that now anymore, really, do you?
I know, yeah, but like once a month, I kind of tweak it, make sure nothing moved, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, even when I look at it, I'm still within like 15 to 20 arc second. I'm really close.
Okay.
But do I have to do it? No. But do I still check it? Yeah. That's just probably because I'm a little crazy like that.
No, it's all good, man.
But
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm beat.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm beat. It's been. I've got what? I'm taking a look here. I don't have, like I said, I don't have any imaging right now because it's just been, the weather's just been, just a mess. So.
And we've had great weather. I just haven't put my scope on.
So hopefully I'll have some data for the Wizard finished. I'll have M31, and I still got the Elephant Trunk and the California that I was messing on. So I got like 4 projects that I got to process.
Yeah, so I'm hoping tonight or tomorrow to throw the ASCAR up and try doing my Heart and Soul in a single frame.
Yep.
With the 2600 on my ASCAR 400 with the reducer. Get some of that in, and then Friday late I'm supposed to get the 70G in, so probably either this weekend or next week I'll do a swap over and get that set up on the tri-pier and figure out how many more counterweights I got to buy to be able to handle my light payload on a 70-pound capable mount for my mini behemoth and the micro or the macro with the ASCAR.
Yeah. Well, my next thing is to work on the EAF and get it set up with so I can start using the Rokinon and my Canon with the EAF and these other lenses and these two Canon DSLR lenses and see how that goes. So I'm looking forward to it, and I can probably be ready for Bernard's Loop when it's more when it comes out a little, when it's out a little bit earlier. But this would be great for me to have the opportunity to use, especially probably with the Rokinon, to get Pallades and Hades, and get those two clusters, in one nice shot, in one grouping. I think that would be kind of cool.
Could be very cool.
So, all right. Well, I'm done.
I'm done too. I'm ready to go to bed. I gotta be at the shop tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, guys, thanks for a great show, and it's good to have the whole gang back together again.
Yeah. Any last questions before we go?
Everybody's just talking about snow and bad seeing.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler, I'll get you some pictures.
I'll work on it, Tyler.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Get him some pictures, guys. Come on.
I've been so busy with honeydew projects
I know.
personal things. I just haven't had time.
I hear you. We all have lives. I get it.
Yeah,
Well,
we do. Yeah, we do.
Friday, I get to go. I'll be watching my phone for the iPhone 12 Pro Max to show up, so I got to do a data swap over and get that all tuned up.
Now have fun with that.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
I'm looking forward to the new phone only because of the camera, and I'm interested to see. Really, I might actually try doing a review video on it. But with the imaging capability, it's not going to be doing what we do with the Astro cameras, but doing a wide field of Milky Way. Not that we have much Milky Way left in the horizon, but we might be able to do a little bit to get an Andromeda shot or something like that.
Yeah. A lot of people are doing good stuff with iPhones these days. iPhones, Samsungs, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Googles. So, yeah, they're all doing some really cool stuff. So,
more stuff.
All right, guys. Well, Dan, why don't you wrap things up and send us off, man?
I will send you off, and I got my riser blocks, and don't forget ZWO adapter for your camera lens. Get the camera lens. Start off easy, start off slow, and you guys will all be fine. But don't forget, we got Tom Bramwell coming up within the next couple of weeks. Gonna lock that down probably about Thanksgiving time, and there'll be more information regarding the iTelescope / Telescope Live project. So be on the lookout for that, and keep your fingers crossed, guys. The launch of the website hopefully will be happening by Thanksgiving-ish area. It may not be perfect. Don't make fun of me, but you know what? I'll get something up there by the end of the month. But again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for the last 2 hours and
next week
12
we have
minutes. What's that?
And next week we have.
What's next week?
Next week is our friend from AstroDark, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Wow, you're right. Visible Dark, man. Sean, I'm sorry, brother. Next week we have Sean Nielsen from Visible Dark going to be on. So yeah, we're going to have an awesome conversation with Sean from Visible Dark. So don't forget, that is on what, the 18th?
Yes.
And yes, the 18th. 9 p.m. Eastern. Sean from Visible Dark will be with us. Sean's probably beating me over the head right now. But
he'll take it on us next week, I'm sure.
Tom, I'm on next week. What are you doing? But yeah, so be on. I'm sure he's gonna have some awesome stories to tell us about his processing capabilities and also some stuff that he has going on with his tutorials, which you haven't checked it out yet. Check it out. They're really good when you start with Pix Insight. So come visit us again next week, and that's going to be an awesome show. So that being said, it's 11:13, and I think we're all tired and ready to go to bed. So thank you for coming, and remember, keep shooting, keep educating, and keep having fun. And we'll see you next time on AstroWorld TV. Clear skies.
Clear skies, everyone.
Take care, guys.